when you put yourself out there online, people are going to say shit about you. We all get a lot of hate mail, so this is our turn to reply to the hate mail and hopefully deliver you some value at the same time. So KRISTY and Bryce, let's start with one of the comments on your blog. They must have had mummy and daddy pay for 100% of their education. That's the only way you could have been successful.
That's the only way to be successful. Okay, interesting.
Well, my mom hates me, so there's that.
Both of us.
Let's not dig into that one.
Let's not dig into that one. Yeah, sure. It was like we were able to avoid student debt going into it, but it's not because our parents paid for our education. We picked a degree that in which there was a co-op program that you can like work as you could basically work in internships while you were studying, and then using that to pay for the tuition. So when we graduated, we had basically 2 years of experience and no student debt. That was really cool. And that's one of the most famous engineering programs in Canada, which is at University of Waterloo.
Yeah. In my case, I grew up on 44 cents a day and living in China at one point. So my parents paying for anything is really just like, it's painful for them to part with money. So I wish they had paid for everything, but with what money? So basically that's what happened. Yeah.
Well, I think we get this one, and it's an underlying thing of, like, without someone paying for your degree, you can't be successful. And, like, we get people saying that, oh, they must have given it to you. I don't even have a degree.
Right.
I know, admitting it out loud. I don't have a degree, but we still managed to be successful. But I think this is like people looking at other people saying, they had it gifted to them, that's why they're successful. Right, yeah. Therefore, I don't have to try.
Okay, so this is an article in a British newspaper.
It is the biggest British newspaper, The Sun.
Okay, so she will end up the richest corpse in the graveyard. She is just a cheapskate. Oh my God, British people are mean.
Well, I will die at some point.
Her corpse is going to be richer than yours.
I think I'd like to be cremated, actually, so that's not going to be an issue.
The richest cheapskate. So this is this whole thing that they think financial independence is about not spending anything, and that everyone in financial independence is a cheapskate. And there was a second comment later on, it's like, oh, those two would be the people who never buy a round of drinks because they're cheapskates. They save anything. And you don't have to stop having fun to get to financial independence.
I think, if anything, it's allowed us to be more generous with our time and with trying to help people, rather than sitting at home counting my pennies. I don't think I've ever done. I did that as a kid. When I got my pocket money, I did count my pennies.
Well, one of the things we really loved was when we started to the money started to compound, is we paid for an Airbnb to go away for a weekend with our friends. So we actually, this enables us to be more generous and do more fun things, which is exactly the opposite. And that lady, we will die, so don't worry, we won't be a thorn in your side forever. But we will not be lonely in the grave.
What?
We're having a party in the grave.
You get buried with other people?
Be buried together.
Okay, I did not agree to this. I didn't agree to this at all.
Is that what that means? We're not going to be alone in that grave.
Oh, that was very sinister.
That was very sinister.
Very threatening.
You can really tell that we rehearsed the hell out of this. Yeah, this is going great, everyone.
Moving on quickly to the next one. KRISTY and Bryce, the good old shallow selfie generation, telling us how to live our lives.
That's true. We do take a lot of selfies. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure. So,
fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's nothing wrong with being shallow. Part of the reason why we do that is actually to kind of make it seem that make our life seem so that people can actually see what our life is like, and how awesome it is and how fun traveling around it is to actually avoid this whole misconception that we just are cheapskates and we live in our basement and then eat crackers all day. You know, that kind of,
yeah.
There's that kind of money mustache, like misconception as well, that it's just, that it's just enforced poverty forever.
Yes.
And what we actually do is we try to make our life look sexy, right? So that people can see, hey, this is actually pretty cool, and not just something that is just deprivation forever. It's not deprivation forever. We live an amazing life, and we want everyone to join, to come along. And if that makes us shallow and self-absorbed, I'm okay with that.
I just like selfies. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
So
wait.
hit
Have you
us,
got some
Bryce.
more abuse for us, Bryce?
Give us some abuse.
Yes, I do.
Which, if you want to see this, just Google the Sun article, and the Facebook comments are vicious. Have a look at them if you want to play along with this game.
The headline should be "Smug couple with massive disposable income use it to become even more smug and claim to be financial geniuses."
Ooh,
I like the alliteration.
I
I like that one,
Smug,
actually.
smug,
Yeah.
Smug,
I think that's
and
actually-
claim to be financial geniuses.
Yeah.
I think they've got something there, and I think that's a genius article. I think that's a genius headline, and I think they've got a future in journalism.
What?
I like it.
I like that. You know what?
Actually,
I was just
like
saying,
A+ for alliteration.
smug couple with mass. That, yeah, you know what? I like it too. The more I read it, and use it to become more smug. I like. Yeah.
Do you think we're smug?
Yeah. I know.
Well, just breaking that down, massive disposable income. We did work very hard to increase our income. Katie went contracting and increased her income massively. I built a business. We worked very hard at increasing income, and that's a big part of the Rebel Finance School. Yeah. It is easier to get to financial independence if you increase your income, but it does not preclude it if you have a lower income. You just have to reduce your expenses. And we did both. We increased our income, lowered our expenses, and then we invested it. And we've never said we're financial geniuses, but to be able to retire, Katie was able to quit her full-time job at age 35. Does your average person retire at 35? Does that make us financial geniuses?
Yes. No, I'm joking.
Anybody who ever says I am a genius is not a genius. It's the financial genius was a title kind of other people like called you that, and then this person got mad about it. But yeah, anybody who ever calls themselves I am a genius, they're the worst person in the world.
We actually did the basics very well. So we did the basics really simply of earn more, reduce our expenditure, and take it and invest in broad-based index funds. And actually the formula for financial independence is relatively simple, but very hard to follow. And that's part of the problem.
By reducing our expenses or keeping our expenses low, weren't we living a sad, sad life of deprivation?
Yes, we were very lonely, sat in Basingstoke doing nothing.
I can just imagine the comments for this video to that smugness. It's like, smug couple makes another smug video to respond.
Oh my God,
to the
it's-
first article about smugness.
Oh my God,
smug.
it's infinite smugness.
All right, let's turn it back to them and abuse them.
Okay, so this one I love. What is the point of living miserably for so long so that you can live miserably forever?
You do seem quite
You seem
miserable.
very
I
miserable.
know, all those saunas and all that eating out and going
Thai
out for Christmas,
massages.
It's very exhausting. It's
Yeah.
very exhausting, right?
All that travel. It's just
I know,
miserable,
so
miserable
exhausting,
travel.
so exhausting. Too many saunas. I think what we need to do is cut back on saunas.
Yeah.
It's too exhausting.
There was, I mean, like going back to that earlier point, there was an initial kind of, the first couple of voices that were in this space, they did kind of overemphasize like frugality, you know, and that kind of, and the media kind of took it and ran with that, and then kind of went, you know, look at Mr. Money Mustache, like saving money on
everywhere.
saving money on avocados. And the thing is, we know Pete, he's a really nice guy, and he lives a pretty awesome life too. Frugality.
It's an incredible life.
He lives an incredible life, and frugality is not even that, like, it's a very, very, very minor part of it. It's about being efficient with your spending and then figuring out how to get the maximum happiness out of spending, out of what spending that you do have. It is not about deprivation, because if you just make it about deprivation, you're just going to give up eventually. It's like dieting forever. I mean, like, nobody wants to do that. So it's a common misconception. We still get hate. We still get hate about it, even though we didn't actually talk that much about frugality. But yeah, that's the internet for you. Their memory is infinite.